Hi friends, and welcome to another video on the Racing Family channel. My name is Big Z and today I will present you another mod for the game Assetto Corsa version 1.16.3 1.16.4. And as you can see on your screens, the car in the question is the Trans Am Chevrolet Camaro 6th generation. All credit for this mod goes to VRC modding team. And thank you VRC modding team for your time and for your hard work on this mod. In the description of this video you will have a link from the VRC modding team official page where you can buy separately this mod or TA2 pack, which includes this car and Ford Mustang with coding name Mare. Direct link to download mod will be attached to each video in the description if mod is free, or link from the page where you can buy mod if isn't. The RAR folder you get from download link will have a car inside with 17 basic skins versions. For this mod you don't need to have a custom shader patch to be able to use this car in the game. The TA2 series is the ancient ancestor of the American Trans Am series, which saw iconic muscle cars such as the Chevrolet Camaro, Ford Mustang, Dodge Challenger and Pontiac Fiber doing battle on US circuits. TA2 first appeared in Australia through the efforts of Peter Robinson, who imported the first batch of cars. After starting as a Queensland-based state series, TA2 gained enough popularity during 2016 and 2017 to enable it to expand a full national series in 2018, with its first round being held at the Winton AMRS event. The TA2 cars are based around the same fundamental ingredients that made the original Trans Am format so successful: V8 engines, high horsepower and excitement of the rear-wheel drive handling. But what exactly is underneath the skin of this bad boy? Let's have a closer look. Under the hood of this car we have a Chevrolet LS3 long block 6-liter V8 engine tuned by Mytec Keytech. With a restrictor plate in it, the engine produces 480 brake horsepower and 447 Nm of torque. Without it, it's somewhere around 520-530 on the wheel. The engine is located on the front at a 90-degree V angle and is longitudinally mounted. The whole engine is made of aluminum. We have an aluminum alloy block and cylinders heads. Inside we have a 2 valves per cylinder OHV. Fuel feed, direct fuel injections, lubrication, dry sump, bore dimension 103mm, choke dimension 92mm. The displacement of this engine is 6162 cubic cm and is combined with compression ratio 11:1. For the engine to be able to work optimally and efficiently, the main work has the brain or the ECU, built by AEM Infinity. The expected lifespan for this engine is 3 to 4 seasons between rebuilds. A part exchange program allows competitors to source a rebuilt engine for $7,000 to $8,000, while brand new units are available with starting price of $13,000. In this car, this V8 engine is paired with a 4-speed G4 GSR gearbox. It is a dog box to lift and shift, no clutch needed unless you are moving off of idle. Rear end is a Tiger quick change rear end with a torsion diff in it. The engine and transmission are connected with an ultralight prop shaft and all power is distributed to the rear wheels. This is a rear-wheel drive car. The chassis of this car is made of aluminum, while the roll cage is made of steel with all FIA regulations thanks to How Racing Enterprises and PBR. While the body shells might differ, the chassis and roll cages of all TA2 cars must be identical, and all cars must comply with minimum weight limit of 1,250 kilos. Several different body shells are available for TA2 class: Chevrolet Camaro Generation 6, Ford Mustang, Dodge Challenger and Camaro Generation 5. Suspension on this car: on all 4 corners we have adjustable Penske actuated coil springs and dampers with adjustable anti-roll bars. Brakes on this car: on the front axle we have a Wilwood ventilated brake discs 12.19 inches in diameter, made of steel, paired with 6-piston monoblock calipers without the support of ABS. And on the rear axle we have also Wilwood ventilated brake discs 11.75 inches in diameter, made of steel, paired with 4-piston monoblock calipers without the support of ABS. Wheels and tires on this car: on all 4 corners we have a Bassett 15-inch wheels made of steel, paired with Pirelli radial slicks, dimensions 275-695 R15. Weight of this car: 1,250 kilos. Fuel capacity: 25 gallons or 95 liters. This was basic information about the Chevrolet Camaro TA2 class car. Now we will go to the track to see how this car will handle all obstacles on the most beautiful track in Europe, the Le Mans track. Okay my friends, we are behind the steering wheel of the Chevrolet Camaro TA2 class car and we are on Le Mans track, one of the most beautiful tracks in Europe. On the left side of your screens you have a speedometer where you can see the top speed of this ultimate beast. When you sit behind the wheel of this stunning looking machine, immediately you will notice a simplicity which endured race cars 25 years ago, but with the addition of today's modern design. Inside you will not find anything that is not necessary for the driver, more than that just forget it. Mostly in today's sports cars we have an air conditioning system which helps the crew to keep the interior of the car cold. Here that is not the case. For the pleasant feeling of cooling, the driver has one plastic pipe which helps him to keep his body temperature at 36 degrees Celsius. But then the guys from Chevrolet said, our races are always intense, maybe pipes will not be enough. Why do we not remove windows and in that way save our drivers from overheating and at the same time reduce the weight of the car even more? And guess what? We don't have a plastic windows covers on the car. On the other hand, to keep the engine safe from overheating, the driver needs to drive fast, which is not something against the racing rules. Now you may ask yourself, why is this information important? The reason is simple, because the engine doesn't have a cooling fan, and because of that the driver at his disposal has only two options, to drive fast or to shut down the engine. I think now we got a clue how serious racer this bad boy is. We are on the straight of the Le Mans track in 4th gear and didn't do any adjustments on this car to go faster. This is what you get when you download the mod, and link from the VRC modding team official page where you can buy this mod will be in the description of this video. 291 km per hour, okay, the top speed of the Chevrolet Camaro TA2 class car is 291 km per hour. And if we take into account that this car has an integrated speed limiter according to the TA2 class regulations, which limits the speed of the car to 291 km per hour, this is a very good result. Inside of this car we have a roll cage made according to all FIA regulations, we have a fire extinguisher system, we have a seatbelt which can be standardly connected in 6 points, and we have the first of the two things which can be made from the ultralight material from the carbon fiber by the TA2 regulations. The first mentioned thing is the driver's seat, which is completely made of carbon fiber thanks to race tech, and the second mentioned thing is the rear wing, and their story stops if we are talking about the ultralight materials on this car. In front of the driver is positioned a proper round Sparco steering wheel whose outer hoop is completely covered with Kevlar. On the wheel you will notice one red button whose main task is to shut down the engine. More buttons and switches in the cockpit of this car are positioned on the dashboard, which is made from the same material as the complete chassis, from aluminum. The dashboard in this car is also covered with Kevlar, and thanks to its indestructible feature, it is the most represented material in the interior of this and any other sports car today. All the technological things necessary for the race with this car are positioned on the dashboard, and certainly the most advanced one is the main screen, in whose housing are also integrated the rev counter lights and the traction control warning lights, which by the way work very well. On the main screen you can see all the important data from the car: your lap time, water temperature, oil temperature, in which gear you are, your moving speed, how much fuel you have on the electronic fuel gauge. Outside this car the most important things work: the taillights work, the brake lights work, and the wiper works. In the people in the car settings, you also have the option to remove the wiper completely from the windshield if you don't want to watch that object in front of you, which sometimes can be very useful. As I said before, on the car we don't have plastic window covers because on the car we don't have doors. We have only one removable plate from the driver's side which allows the driver to get in the car. From the penetrating forces, the driver in the car is protected with nets made of Kevlar, which keeps him safe during the race. The driver is also protected with Hans device, which keeps in case of the crash his head, neck and back safe from very serious injuries. This car also has some technical things that can be adjusted. You can adjust to your taste the rear wing, brake power, brake bias, alignment, tires pressure, suspensions, dampers, and you can only change the final gear ratio of the car, you can't set up each gear separately. You have one map setup for ABS, two maps for the engine, and you have only one set of tires, one types of slicks at your disposal as an option. To be clear, this is a very tricky car to drive. The steering wheel is very fast and is too much sensitive to driver's inputs, which makes the front end very fast in reactions. People will say, okay, that's good. Yes, that's good if the rear end is agile. And when those two sides work together on the car, then we can say that the car is balanced, which is a very important thing that allows the car to be successful on the track with a lot of bumps and curves. But on this car the rear end is very wooden, very unstable under acceleration, and acts more like a trailer attached to the track which has only one task in mind: to push you when you are braking. And to make things worse, the front end is very unstable during the braking, so corrections with the steering wheel are inevitable. You will have the feeling like you are driving on ice. Now I have to interrupt myself here. This is a massive car, right? Where it's all about speed and power, that symphony which this beautiful V8 engine plays whenever you press throttle hard, which makes butt start to roar. Something is wrong here. Maybe this car doesn't like tracks with a lot of bumps and curves, but what if we change the track? We have a beautiful V8 engine, 4-speed manual gearbox, and very similar wheels too, you know what I mean. Maybe we should repeat this part one more time. Okay my friends, we are on the Southside Motor Speedway track made also by VRC modding team, and yes, we are in the natural habitat of this car. Why we are here? The reason is simple. Here you will see this car in its full potential as a NASCAR version. Yes, you heard me well. Don't know did I realize in the team when they have finished work on this car and his brother Mustang that they are made the perfect versions of the NASCAR cars. These cars are masterpieces in every single way on our tracks. Technologically both cars are identical, except in the visual part because they represent the production line of their parent companies. It's very important to mention that this is not complete TA2 package. The Dodge Challenger is missing, and I hope the car will appear as a new update for this TA2 package soon. Well, let's get back on the Chevy. Every missing part of the puzzle on the Chevy TA2 class car, which was so evident as a disadvantage on the tracks with a lot of bumps and curves, here becomes an advantage. The steering on this car here becomes just perfect. The handling becomes just perfect. Every single part of this car here becomes perfect. And even these bad working brakes on the car now have complete sense. But fact is, with this car you have a bigger chance to crash when you are trying to brake than someone smashing into you during the race. Never know which wheel will start to brake first. But besides that, this boy here is the perfect NASCAR car packed in the body of the TA2 class car. Well done, VRC modding team. Two things that make those significant differences between this car and the NASCAR version are the visual from the outside and the integrated speed limiter, which does not let you achieve a bigger top speed than 291 km/h. Also, all vehicles on the track, as stated in the current rulebook, must meet the sound requirements of 115 decibels or less. The Trans Am series is a sports car racing series held in North America. Founded in 1966, it was approved by the American Sports Car Club SCCA. Primarily based in the United States, the series competes on a variety of track types including roads and street tracks. Trans Am is divided into TA and TA2 classes for silhouette racing cars, while its production classes are GT, Grand Touring, SGT, Super Grand Touring and KSGT Extreme Grand Touring. Be it the Challenger, Camaro or Mustang, there is a car in place for everyone in TA2 class, one of the fastest growing class and series in road racing. Brake discs on this car glow with nice sunburst orange paint during the braking. And when the car decelerates or during the gear change, you will notice the flames from the two exhaust pipes located on the right side of the car in front of the right rail gear. In the car folder in total we find 17 well-made basic skins versions, and you can preview all of them in the game showroom and in the content manager showroom. For this mod, you don't need to have a custom shader patch to be able to use this car in the game. Dear friends, I wish you a lot of health, happiness, success and joy in the new 2022 year. We as humans are not perfect beings. We have our virtues, our flaws, but no matter what, we can forgive each other, help each other in trouble. Because a man without society is nothing, just as society without man does not exist. You never divide people by the color of their skin, by name, religion, nation. On this planet, there is only one human race. This was the Chevrolet Camaro TA2 class car, and conclusion is very simple. The TA2 race car is a purpose-built racing machine, designed, built and tuned with only one thing in mind: performance. With the engines restricted to just under 500 horsepower, longevity is promoted while not sacrificing performance. This is a good-looking car. The mod itself is very well made, and it's noticeable that the people from VRC modding team put a lot of effort and knowledge into every detail of this car, which is to be commended. The Chevrolet Camaro is a true presenter of American muscle cars. Manufactured by one of the world's largest car companies, General Motors, whose brand is Chevrolet, it continues to attract the size of true car lovers around the world with its appearance and performance. The first official public debut of this car was on May 16, 2015, when Chevrolet unveiled the 6th generation Camaro at Belle Isle Park in Detroit. The launch, along with the previous generation Camaros on display, coincided with the vehicle's upcoming 58th birthday. This new 6th generation of Camaro saw production return to the United States as the 4th and 5th generation models has been assembled in Canada. Today, this youngest member of the Chevrolet family is fighting for points in many classes around the world, representing his country in the best possible way. Maybe this car will not be the perfect racing machine for all of you, but one thing is for sure, this car will significantly improve your driving skills. My friends, thank you for watching this video. If you like it, like. If you don't like it, dislike. Share if you want. Stay safe, healthy, and remember, always wear your seatbelt when you drive. See you in the next video. Bye.